People, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. People, have you ever thought about the weight of a secret? The burden of holding something so beautiful, so powerful, people, that you just want to shout it from the rooftops. Imagine the heart of our beloved Prophet Muhammad. For 3 years, people, 3 long years, he carried the greatest message the world has ever known. For 40 years, he was known as Sadiq, Al-Amin, the truthful, the trustworthy. And then, in the cave of Hira, the angel Jibril squeezed him and said, "People, Iqra, read," and the world changed. But not overnight. No. My brothers, my sisters, people, have you ever sat alone at night and thought about the sheer weight of what it means to be chosen? Not chosen for a promotion, people. Not chosen for an award, but chosen by the Creator of the heavens and the earth to carry the final message to all of humanity, people. Imagine the trembling of the heart. Imagine the awe. This was the reality of our beloved Prophet Muhammad. For 40 years, people, he walked amongst his people as a man of impeccable reputation. They called him as Sadiq, the truthful. They called him Al-Amin, people, the trustworthy. He was the one they entrusted with their valuables, the one they turned to for judgment in their disputes, people. He was in every sense the perfect human being, people, polished and prepared by Allah Himself for a mission so grand that the mountains would have crumbled under its weight, people. For 3 long years, the message was a quiet current flowing beneath the surface of a dark and ignorant society, people. Think about the wisdom of this, my friends. This was not a sign of weakness. This was the pinnacle of divine strategy. You see, people, when you have a truth so powerful that it is destined to shatter the idols of the world, people, you cannot just throw it into the public square and hope for the best. The hearts of men are not ready for such a sudden shock. People, the Prophet, guided by revelation, understood that a mighty tree needs deep roots before it can withstand a hurricane. So, people, for 3 years the roots were being laid, silently, patiently, powerfully, people. The first to drink from this fountain was the most beloved woman to him, his wife, our mother Khadijah, people. May Allah be pleased with her. She was his comfort, his solace, his first believer, people. When he came home trembling from that first encounter in the cave, his heart pounding, his body shaking, people, it was Khadijah who wrapped him in a blanket. It was Khadijah who calmed his fears, people. It was Khadijah who testified to his character and said, "Be Allah, Allah will never disgrace you, people. You uphold the ties of kinship. You bear the burden of the weak. You help the poor. You honor the guest, people. And you assist in the cause of truth and goodness." She was the first brick in that foundation, people. And what a blessed brick she was. Then came the man who would later be called as Siddiq, the utmost truthful. Abu Bakr, people. May Allah be pleased with him, was the Prophet's closest friend. He knew Muhammad better than anyone, people. He knew he could not lie. So when the Prophet told him of the revelation, he did not hesitate for a moment, people. He believed immediately. And with Abu Bakr came a wave of honor. Through his gentle and noble character, people, he brought some of the greatest names of Islam into the fold. Think of Uthman ibn Affan, the man of immense modesty and wealth, people. Think of Talha ibn Ubaidullah. Think of Zubair ibn al-Awwam. They came because they trusted Abu Bakr, people. And Abu Bakr trusted the Prophet. The roots were growing deeper. And then there was Ali ibn Abi Talib, people. May Allah be pleased with him. He was just a boy, a young soul living in the house of the Prophet. He was the first youth to accept Islam. His heart was pure, uncorrupted by the idolatry of Quraysh. And there were others, people, from different walks of life. There was Bilal ibn Rabah, the Abyssinian slave with a rugged voice but a heart of gold, people. There was Sumaya, the first martyr, a woman of immense courage. There was Khabbab ibn al-Arat, the poor people, tortured teacher of the faith. Look at this beautiful mix, my brothers and sisters, people. Look at the diversity of that first foundation, the rich and the poor, the powerful and the oppressed, the elder and the youth, people, the Arab and the non-Arab. This was the Ummah being built in miniature, in a secret classroom, people, away from the prying eyes of a hostile world. Imagine the atmosphere in that house, people. Imagine the peace that descended upon those souls as they heard the words of their Lord for the first time, people. They were not just learning a religion, they were being forged into a force, people. They were being trained to carry a burden that would make the mountains crumble, people. They were being prepared to face the entire world. If the Prophet had gone public immediately, people, if he had declared his message on the first day, on the steps of the Kaaba, the movement would have been crushed in its infancy, people. The opposition would have been so fierce, so overwhelming, people, that it might have snuffed out the flame before it could illuminate the world. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, protected the flame. He kept it hidden, burning brightly in the hearts of a few chosen souls, people, until those hearts were strong enough to ignite the world. During these 3 years, people, the Quraysh were largely unaware of what was happening. They heard whispers, perhaps. They saw strange behavior, people. They noticed that some people were acting differently, people. But they did not understand the magnitude of what was brewing beneath their feet, people. They did not realize that the very foundation of their idols, their forefathers' religion, their social order, people, was being quietly, steadily, and irrevocably undermined by a message of pure monotheism, people. They did not know that in a small house on the hill of Safa, the future of humanity was being decided, people. Men and women were learning to say, La ilaha illallah. And with those words, they were breaking the chains of Jahiliyyah, people. The chains of ignorance, slavery, and polytheism. They were learning to stand tall, to submit only to the one God, people. To find a dignity that the world could never give and could never take away. The message was a secret for 3 years, people. Not because it was shameful, but because it was sacred. It was being prepared for its grand entrance onto the stage of history, people. The believers in Dar al-Arqam were not just learning facts. They were becoming living examples of the truth, people. They were being trained in character, in patience, in trust in Allah. They were learning that the path of truth is not easy, people. That it requires sacrifice, that it requires unity. They were becoming a family, bound not by blood, but by faith, people. This brotherhood, forged in the secret years, people, would later become the unbreakable bond that held the Ummah together through the worst trials imaginable, people. So when you read the Seerah, do not just skip over these early years. Pause here. Reflect here. This is where the miracle began, people. This is where the heart of the Ummah was formed. This is where a few good men and women, guided by the greatest of messengers, people, lit a candle in the dark that would eventually illuminate the entire world. And that light, my brothers and sisters, people, that light began as a whisper.